All right. Kind of a busy day, especially for you, since you flying solo in there, huh?
Well, Fred's out shooting stories. We got guys out shooting stories
You.
everywhere, which is a typical day for us.
It
But at
is.
the moment, I'm the only one in there. You're right.
I tried calling into the radio show today because you were doing the picks. You pick them for the U.S.
Who would
Open.
you have chosen?
I would have chosen Wyndham Clark.
Who?
Wyndham.
You mean at the end?
Yeah.
All right.
I waited. I wanted to
Well,
wait.
I suppose you could have had anybody.
I could have. But
Who would
what
you-
was the consensus, do you think, for everybody who called in?
Well, look, it's a first come, first serve thing, so there's nobody piles up on anybody because, the first one chosen is who I expected to be, Koepka.
Yep.
And it went exactly pretty much the way you would think it would go relative to betting in Las Vegas. Koepka, Scheffler, Rahm.
MSNBC says correct.
Trying to remember who was fourth. The
typical.
top guys are
Yeah.
all. Oh, McIlroy.
Okay.
So
Well, that is about the U.S. Open, which is at the Los Angeles Country Club. It starts tomorrow. Here are some of the round times and where you can watch. Starts Thursday, which is tomorrow, at the Los Angeles Country Club. And these are Eastern time, just so everybody knows.
when Peacock goes on at 9:40, that means the first tee time tomorrow in Los Angeles is 6:45 in the morning. You
Ooh.
better get to bed early tonight. And when you get on the driving range to warm up tomorrow morning, I hope it's light.
Yeah.
You may be hitting balls in the dark to get ready.
What's the earliest you ever had a tea time?
Six,
Tim?
me?
You.
Sometime in the 7 o'clock, but that was 1,000 years ago when, when you don't need till 2 o'clock to get warmed up
Right.
going through the day. But for those guys, and then Friday they'll play late in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You play in the morning one day and the afternoon the next, and vice versa. And believe me, the stars don't play at 6:45 in the morning.
All right. Well, we will be keeping our eye on that throughout tomorrow and Friday and into
Best
the weekend.
part about it is you can it's Father's Day weekend. You can watch in prime time the U.S. Open all the way to about 11 o'clock. Well, probably all 4 nights. And I guess what, Sunday? Is it Sunday? NBC's got it 11 in the morning to the bitter end. So there's a lot of golf this weekend because NBC's got the U.S. Open.
All right. Do you have any predictions? Who was your pick?
Well, I don't pick golf. There's
don't?
156 players. If you got 2 teams and it's Michigan, Michigan State, then you can pick a winner there. However, since there's always considered a
There
favorite.
is. And everything.
The favorite to me is Brooks Koepka.
Okay.
He would be the favorite. But now, if I said to you, you can have Koepka or the field, who would you take if we had a bet? You're going to have Koepka or you're going to have the field? I'd take the field every single time.
Right.
You got 155 guys against one. So, picking a winner in golf always seems, I'm always amused by that because, again, it's not a team or a team.
Right.
But if you ask somebody who's the favorite in your opinion out of all that, humanity, I would say Koepka, and he is the betting favorite. So it's not like I'm a genius. All you got to do is kind of size this stuff up. That doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination he's going to win, but he's looking pretty good going in.
Well, we will find out again. That is tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on NBC, Peacock, USA, everything. We're going to move on to hockey first. Somewhat locally, the Grand Rapids Griffins have a new head coach, and he's a familiar name to a lot of fans of the Red Wings system. He most recently coached the Toledo Walleye. It is Dan Watson. He has been named the 12th coach in Grand Rapids Griffins franchise history. Toledo had a really impressive run this past season, and actually Watson is the fastest coach in ECHL history to reach 100 wins, and he is the winningest coach in Walleye history.
I guarantee you were the only media person for 50 miles who knows that. And good for you. There's nobody around here that knows that.
I really like Toledo. I started my
Taking your
career.
word for it.
I started my career in very low-level hockey, so I love the development that hockey has, and I love the Toledo to Grand Rapids to Detroit.
It shows.
I love that. I love seeing players and coaches grow.
The only thing I know is they're introducing the guy tomorrow morning at Van Andel Arena at 11 o'clock. That I can tell you. After that, it's all foreign to me. I got a better shot of analyzing politics than I do what you just went through.
Well, speaking of betting and shots, we have a new Stanley Cup champion. It is the Las Vegas, or Vegas, I'm pretty sure it's just Vegas. Golden Knights. They won the Stanley Cup last night, Game 5. Pretty dominant win, 9 goals to 3 over Florida in Game 5 in just their 6th year as a franchise.
I watched, some of it, and then if it's the Cup thing, we were talking this morning, the Stanley Cup, that hockey's is a niche audience, but the trophy to me is the most famous.
I think so.
Trophy in sports, more than the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
That might be second, at least North America, I think.
Well, where's the World Cup rank? Believe me, I don't know that either. But I think the Stanley Cup, you tell average sports fan, if I ask anybody in here what sport does the Stanley Cup go to, most people would tell you hockey.
And
if I asked most people
what
who
sport
wins
does the
the
Stanley
Vince
Cup
Lombardi,
go to?
if I said to most people in this room, 20 of them, what's the Vince Lombardi Trophy, there'd be a million of them wouldn't have any idea who Vince Lombardi is.
I want to ask. So far, I only asked Ann, and she was almost.
No, because she knows.
She knows.
Stuff, Our news people know more than our sports people about sports.
She grew up in Detroit. Yeah, of course Ann knows. She grew up in Metro Detroit. Of course she knows.
No, our news people know more about sports than our sports people do. You got to have them on. You
know how many flags the World Series trophy has?
No.
It's one for each team.
No. They shouldn't give one for Oakland and Kansas City, believe me. Tell you what, that Vegas team's pretty good.
Yeah, they are. There's a couple guys on the team who this is their first cup, which I always personally like to see. And then there's also a couple where they've won before, namely Alex Pietrangelo.
They outscored Florida 27-11.
But not to downplay Florida's run. I mean, they beat really good teams this year to get where they were.
The final should have been Vegas-Boston.
By all accounts, it should have been, yes.
And in my opinion, had it been Vegas-Boston, we got a grinder. But it doesn't work that way.
Nope.
The playoffs never work that way.
They never do.
Teams in the playoffs in any sport, it doesn't play out that the top seed's going to get through to the end. However, I thought last night had Boston played, because Vegas dominated this thing. If they play, I think Florida just ran out of gas. They had a lot of good runs in there. They played those first 3 series extremely well. They came back from 3-1 down to Boston, but I think they looked to me like they were just beat to a pulp. And that goalie, he looked like he was in a MASH unit for 5 games. And as well as he had played, the 4th goal last night for Vegas, I can't believe the onslaught he faced. That puck had to be in his end inside the blue line for at least 2 to 3 minutes. And then finally they scored.
We're talking Aiden Hill, by the way. Florida has a really good goalie,
too.
Does
the victory parade, does that go down the Strip, or does it go somewhere else?
I can only imagine it's going to go on the Strip.
That might be a little hot.
I mean, it's Vegas. What are you going to do? They have it in Miami. Like, if the Florida Panthers had won, they'd have it in Miami. It's still going to be hot.
Yeah.
So
the 2 Miami teams didn't make it.
2 Miami teams made the finals, but did not make it.
Got beaten 5. There was no
by
drama.
Western Conference teams.
So there you
what does
go.
that mean? Not sure. What can we expect out of yourself and Fred tonight on
Well, we got the
Sports
2
Desk?
teams left in the state tournaments in baseball, Lansing Catholic, in softball, Langsburg. We have Tigers are losing the first game of the doubleheader 10-5 late. We got that.
Biggie did get a home run, though, his first one of the season.
It's about time. For 32, however many million, it's about time.
Our promotions director came in ecstatic that he got a home run. Detroit news outlets pushed it.
And what else do we? Jordan Kerr is the new head baseball coach at Grand Valley State. He was a standout at Michigan State, coached Lansing Community, was an assistant at Michigan State. He's the 8th head baseball coach at Grand Valley State. We always promote the locals.
Yeah.
And we'll wish Brooke Bierman well, the sophomore on the MSU women's golf team. She got an exemption to the Meyer LPGA Classic. She tees off tomorrow in the first round. Good for her.
Good for her. Also, we got quite a few Grand Valley alum here.
Good.
In the newsroom.
Well,
Nicole
good for
Buckman,
them.
Claudia Salas. We got quite a bit. All right, well, that's what we have coming up. we will see you, Tim, tomorrow with a look at how the U.S. Open is going. Thanks for
Yep.
watching.